Hello, welcome to Letting Go in 2019. I'm reading from this book, The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie, copyright 1990. Perfection. Many of us picked on ourselves unmercifully before recovery. We may also have a tendency to pick on ourselves after we begin recovery. If I was really recovering, I wouldn't be doing that again. I should be further along than I am. These are statements that we indulge in when we're feeling shame. We don't need to treat ourselves that way. There is no benefit. Remember, shame blocks us, but self-love and acceptance enable us to grow and change. If we truly have done something we feel guilty about, we can correct it with an amend and an attitude of self-acceptance and love. Even if we slip back to our old codependent ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving, we do not need to be ashamed. We all regress from time to time. That's how we learn and grow. Relapse or recycling is an important and necessary part of our recovery. And the way out of recycling is not by shaming ourselves. That leads us deeper into codependency. Much pain comes from trying to be perfect. Perfection is impossible unless we think of it in a new way. Perfection is being who and where we are today. It's accepting and loving ourselves just as we are. We are each right where we need to be in our recovery. Today, I will love and accept myself for who I am and where I am in my recovery process. I am right where I need to be to get to where I'm going tomorrow. I think of all the readings that I've done over the years in the Letting Go, Language of Letting Go book. That's one of the ones that really has reformed the way I think about life in general. That we're all in this process, that we haven't arrived. Some of the problems I had in my past was I held to a very rigid religious belief that I was perfect, that nobody else that wasn't where I was perfect, and that I was better than everyone. And it kind of held me to a standard that, yeah, it felt pleasant to me, but it set everybody else to look like failures in my eyes. And then I became very condescending, and I didn't like myself after a while. So this was a really good reading for me because it meant that we're all in process, including myself, that none of us have arrived, and none of us will till we see our Maker face to face, I believe. So that we're not setting ourselves and other people out or up for failure and impossible standards to meet. Now I tolerate, differences in myself as well as other people. I know that I can't fix another person. I can't make them be any way I want them to be. I can't even make myself do that without the help of God. That's something that's very individualized. And this reading tells you that you're just going along a pathway and you're perfecting yourself every day. But you're never going to have perfected every single thing in yourself until you're not on this planet anymore. So expecting yourself to never make a mistake, expecting yourself to always say the right things at the right time to the right people is ridiculous. You're not going to do it. You're not. You're human. You have a finite mind. You're not God. I'm not God. And we can't pretend that all is well when it's not well. That was another thing I set myself up to, a standard of we don't ever talk about anything that's going wrong in our life. We don't talk about feeling icky. We don't do that because I was part of a word of faith belief system where you just don't utter that out of your mouth. Now, it's not the first thing that comes out of my mouth, even if I am feeling gross or just having struggles or whatever. I really believe by faith that I can overcome everything until I know otherwise. But if I'm really feeling bad and somebody wants to know the truth of what I'm going through, I'm going to tell them. And I'm going to say, hey, this is what's happening and I need some prayer, or I need you to just kind of send me some well wishes or just support me right now. And you should too. You should feel totally confident saying, hey, I'm struggling. And it's a finite human experience that everybody goes through for now on this planet. We all have to work on our issues and work towards what we need to do and who we need to become, and who we want to become and aspire to be. But it's a process, and life is a process in general. And we're not all on the same part of the path in life. We're just not. Do I believe that there's one path? No. Um, I guess that kind of makes me a little bit esoteric or eccentric or eclectic or something. I think that God knows where we need to be at whatever time we need to be there. I think He orchestrates a certain measure of our life, and I think we have some say in the rest of it. But I think we all eventually will stand face to face with Him and give account for how we spent our days of our lives and how we treated people and how we felt about ourselves, because He did create us in His image. So we are supposed to love ourselves in a, unselfish way, but definitely believing and having self-esteem and self-worth, because if you don't feel good in yourself, you're not going to help others feel good about themselves. So that's just some thoughts from me. People asked me last night in my live video, what religion am I? What beliefs am I? Or actually, it wasn't last night. It was somebody that recently asked me that. It wasn't in my live video. I'm sorry. It was on a car ride, actually. They said, "What are your beliefs?" I said, I'm a spiritual mutt. And honestly, that's kind of where I see myself at this point. I have a relationship with God. He speaks to me. I hear His voice. He leads me. Sometimes He speaks to me on behalf of other people. But ultimately, even He knows that He gave everybody the right to make choices. And if you're trying to usurp other people's choices or trying to put your shoulds on them, it's not a healthy thing. And don't should yourself either. Just know that you're where you need to be right now and work on being the best you can be. I hope this helped somebody today from the Letting Go in 2019 series, and I'll see you on the next part of the series tomorrow. God bless and have a wonderful day and weekend.